Welcome to Term 1, Week 4, Session 2. In our last session, we learned about the first steps of scientific investigation, the aim, materials, and procedure. Today, we will continue our journey and learn what happens after an experiment is completed. We will discover how scientists collect information, organize it, and use it to answer questions. Let's begin by looking at where we are on our scientific roadmap. Scientists follow a series of steps when investigating a question. We have already learned aim or problem, materials and equipment, and procedures. Today, we will focus on step 4, results and data. This is the step where scientists record what happened during the experiment. After collecting data, scientists can move on to the final step, which is making a conclusion. Before we learn about data, let's think about why being organized is important. Imagine you're looking for a blue toy car. In picture A, the toys are messy and scattered everywhere. It would be difficult to find the car. In picture B, the toys are neatly organized in labeled boxes. The blue car is much easier to find. Scientific information works the same way. If our observations are messy, it becomes harder to understand our results. When data is organized, we can quickly find important information and make better conclusions. This leads us to an important question. Scientists collect many observations during an experiment. Sometimes they gather numbers, notes, measurements, and other information. But how do scientists turn all these information into clear answers that people can understand? The answer is by organizing the information carefully into results and data. When data is organized, it becomes easier to study and explain. So what exactly are results and data? Let's find out. Data is the information that we collect during an experiment. Data can include measurements, numbers, counts, times, and observations. For example, measuring a plant's height, count water drops, recording time with a stopwatch, observing changes in color. All these are examples of data. Scientists use data to help answer their investigation questions. Now let's see how organizing data can make our results much easier to understand. Let's say Lito is observing two plants. At first, he writes, plant A has 5 centimeters on Monday and 8 centimeters on Friday. Plant B was 4 centimeters on Monday and 5 centimeters on Friday. While this information is correct, it is not easy to compare. Instead, Lito places the information into a table. Now we can quickly see that plant A grew from 5 centimeter to 8 centimeter. Plant B grew from 4 centimeter to 5 centimeter. The table shows that plant A grew more than plant B. This is why scientists organize data into charts and tables. It helps people understand quickly and clearly. Now that we understand what data is and why organization is important, let's learn more ways scientists record and present their results. Scientists often use tables to organize their data. So this is a table. A table has different parts. The top part are the column headers. These tell us information belongs in each column. The rows show the data for one subject. The data cells contain the numbers and information that are collected. Tables make information neat, organized, and easy to understand. Once scientists organize their data, they are ready to figure out what the data means. A conclusion is the answer to the investigation question. Scientists look carefully at all the data they collected. Then they use the evidence to explain what they collected. A good conclusion uses facts and data, answers the original question, stays clear and truthful, does not include personal opinions. Scientists let the data help them find the answer. There is an easy way to write a conclusion. Scientists often use a simple formula for writing conclusions. First, say that the data shows, then the word therefore. Finally, give the answer to the investigation question. For example, the data shows that plant A grew 3 centimeters while plant B grew 1 centimeter. Therefore, plant A grew taller. This formula helps make conclusions clear and easy to understand. Now, let's compare a weak conclusion and a strong conclusion. A bad conclusion is based on opinions or feelings. For example, brand X is the best paper towel because my family likes it. This is not scientific because it does not use data. A good conclusion uses facts and numbers. For example, based on the data, brand X absorbed 15 millimeters of water, while brand Y absorbed 10 millimeters. Good conclusions use evidence and answer the investigation question. In this investigation, students tested how many drops of water could fit on different coins. The 5-peso coin held about 21 drops on average, and the 1-peso coin held about 13 drops on average. What does the data tell us? The data shows that the 5-peso coin held more drops of water. Therefore, the 5-peso coin can hold more water than a 1-peso coin. That's a good conclusion because it uses evidence from the investigation. Let's look at one more example, using plants and sunlight. In this investigation, plants were placed in a different amounts of sunlight. The plant in full sunlight grew 15 centimeters. The plant in the shade grew 8 centimeters. And the plant in the dark closet grew only 2 centimeters. What can we learn from this data? The data shows that plants in full sunlight grew the most. Therefore, plants grow taller when they receive more light. This conclusion is based on the information collected during the experiment. Scientists always tell the truth about their results. This is called scientific honesty. If plant grows only 1 centimeter, we write exactly 1 centimeter. We do not change the number to make the experiment look better. Scientists record what really happened, even if the results are not what they expected. Being honest helps other people trust the results. A true scientist always reports facts, not made up information. Now let's use everything we learned and solve one final science case. Joy wanted to find out if sugar dissolves faster in hot water or cold water. The results showed that sugar dissolved in 15 seconds in hot water. Sugar dissolved in 60 seconds in cold water. Let's look at the choices. Choice A. Talk about sugar being delicious, but that does not answer the investigation question. Choice C gives a personal opinion which is not based on the data. Choice B uses the evidence from the experiment. The data shows that sugar dissolved faster in hot water. Therefore, the correct conclusion is sugar dissolves faster in hot water than in cold water. Scientists use data in experiments, but we can also use data in everyday life. Data is not only used in science laboratories. We can use tables and data at home too. For example, we can count how many spoons, forks, and plates we have in the kitchen. Then we can organize the information in a table. After looking at the numbers, we can write a simple conclusion, such as the kitchen has more forks than spoons. Using data helps us organize and make better decisions in daily life. Today, we learned how to organize data, write conclusions, and practice scientific honesty. Remember, collect accurate data, organize information clearly, use facts when writing conclusions, always be honest about your results. These skills help us become careful thinkers and good young scientists. Thank you for listening.